We started Nova Pioneer because we wanted to offer schools that were different. Schools in which young people would grow up to shape the world and not just work in it. That's why our mission is to develop the innovators and leaders who will shape the African century. Now, to do that, we need to develop Noveneers in 3 ways. The first is character. The character of a Noveneer is defined by a set of 6 specific mindsets and behaviors that we call our culture principles. They challenge us to set high expectations, grow from every challenge, and seek to serve. The second are capabilities, specifically the capabilities to solve problems collaboratively and to develop high levels of academic mastery. Our students require both of those to take on the world with confidence and to create new possibilities for themselves and for others. The third area is connection. Connection to the world and to each other. We are a Pan-African network because we want our students growing up connected and sharing experiences with students from all across the continent. And we invest in a post-school success program to support success and connection beyond school. If we can develop those 3 things well, character, capabilities, and connection, we will meet our mission of developing young people who can shape the world and not just work in it. I started by saying we started Nova Pioneer to offer schools that are different. Too many schools are places where year after year, students learn that they can't. I'm not an artist, I'm not a singer, I can't do science, I can't do math, or I dare not risk trying. At Nova Pioneer, we want to be different in that way. We want to be a place that year after year, week after week, day after day, students have the opportunity to learn and discover that they can, that they are fundamentally capable to learn and to grow, and to take on the world as optimistic and self-assured innovators and leaders.
So many parents have questions about the CBC and how it sets up their child for success.
Hi, friends.
The CBC, or competency-based curriculum, came about in 2016 when the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development did a needs assessment survey. This survey said that a different curriculum was required for students in the country to develop the talents within them. The CBC provides a paradigm shift in the country from a focus on students memorizing content to students developing competencies. The stages of learning are broken down into 4 levels, 2, 6, 3, 3. 2 years of pre-primary in pre-primary 1 and 2, 6 years of primary education from grade 1 to grade 6, 3 years of junior secondary from grades 7 to 9, and 3 years of senior secondary from grades 10 to 12. After completing senior secondary, students are then prepared to either join the world of work or proceed to tertiary institutions. A core difference between 844 and CBC is in its approach to assessment. While students do still sit for summative written assessments at the end of each stage of learning, a greater emphasis is placed on their continuous learning and continuous assessment throughout the journey. We believe in giving our students the best the world has to offer to develop their CBC learning. We call this CBC the Nova Pioneer Way.
We at Nova Pioneer use unique approaches to enhance our delivery of CBC. I will highlight a few. These are our 5 e-learning model, the Singapore approach to mathematics, reading A to Z, and novel study. Our 5 e-learning model is an inquiry-based approach to structuring learning. These 5 E's are engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation. We use the 5E approach in all of our lessons from pre-primary through secondary. We enhance our mathematics instruction by using Singapore's approach to teaching mathematics. Students learn to think mathematically and rely on the depth of knowledge gained in our previous lessons. We also use a program called Reading A to Z to support our reading instruction in grades PP2 to grade 5. In addition to in-class instruction, students also practice reading with RAS Kids, the Reading A to Z blended reading software for students. I am a teacher and designer of English, and my favorite component is novel study. English instruction is taught using these novels as a focus, with reading, grammar, and writing instruction taught using the text as a common thread. Once students encounter set books in their senior secondary years, they are well prepared to tackle the text as they already have the skills from prior years.
As an educator, I know the importance of support and continuous development in teachers for them to deliver any curriculum successfully. Teachers at Nova Pioneer receive comprehensive support from their instructional deans and school leaders to grow their instructional practice every single week through professional development sessions. These sessions focus on topics such as classroom systems and routines, student culture, lesson internalization and delivery, and data analysis and action planning. Classroom observation is also a crucial part of the school routine, and this helps teachers to receive feedback on their lesson delivery to enhance student learning. Additionally, our teachers attend government-provided CBC training sessions to be equipped with best practices on interpreting and implementing the KCD curriculum.
We have a few metrics we use to measure our student success at Nova Pioneer. The first is the most familiar, our assessments. We want to see that our students are performing well on each of the curriculum objectives taught, and that those who are struggling are growing in their mastery in each subsequent term. The next metric we use is external assessment data, independent of the curriculum. Our students take the NWEA MAP assessment, which tells us how our students are performing relative to other students internationally at the same age. This tells us whether we are preparing students who are globally competitive. Finally, we have our long-term data, how our students perform when they exit our walls and go out into the world. We have alumni who are going to university both at home and abroad. We have alumni who are starting their own businesses. We have alumni who are starting their own nonprofits. Ultimately, our success is measured by the success of our students and the mark that they make on the world. To learn more about how Nova Pioneer develops the next generation of innovators and leaders, attend one of our open days. You'll get to see a sample lesson and hear from our students and teachers. You can also learn more by going to our website or by checking out our blog and social media accounts.
What makes Nova Pioneer students stand out? Well, they're the kind of students who aim high. They're empowered to grow, to do more, be more, and achieve great things. They are resilient and adaptable. They have big hearts, strong character, and solve real-life problems. They are innovators. They are leaders.
What people notice about our students, whether you walk into a campus in South Africa or in Kenya, is how confident they are.
Now, when we started Nova Pioneer, one of our observations was that too often we grew up through school learning not what we can do, but actually what we can't do. And fundamentally, we want a Nova Pioneer to be different in that way. We strive for a Nova Pioneer to be a place where year after year, students are discovering not that they can't, but actually discovering what they can do. That I can, because it's through that fundamental development of a sense of capability that unleashes incredible possibility for them and for the world.
We deliver the national curriculum in Kenya, and we are lucky. We do it in a different way.
We're able to differentiate learning and make learning student-centered, but we focus on the child as an individual.
My role in the classroom is to facilitate learning. My students are able to explore, they're able to ask questions, investigate in everything they do. My work is just going around to make sure it's happening.
So the inquiry-based learning model, which is really what the lessons are designed around, gives children opportunity to share their thinking. It is no longer about the teacher and the board, and teacher sharing her construct of knowledge and her understanding of principles and learning, but to listen to what the children bring, giving them a problem, giving them something to explore and an inquiry or something to investigate within the maths curriculum, within those literacy modules. How can she push the children's thinking?
So it is the joy of learning. They do learn complicated aspects, but even if it's complicated, it is done in such a joyful way. The child, it just sticks with them.
The big change I've seen in my daughter would be her thinking differently. When something was broken in the house, she told me, don't go buy another one, you can fix it. So she told me solutions first. Look for sellotape or glue and fix it. So I asked her how she learned about that. She told me in school.
I
had an opportunity to teach grade 3 recently, and we were working on how do you use context clues to figure out words you don't know. And I watched this amazing light bulb moment with the students that I was sitting with, and they got to be reading detectives, put on their magnifying glass, and found words they didn't understand. And they worked together to say, how do I figure out what this word means? And watching them collaboratively figure it out was that moment that showed me this really works.
We started Nova Pioneer because we wanted to offer schools that were different. Schools in which young people would grow up to shape the world and not just work in it. That's why our mission is to develop the innovators and leaders who will shape the African century. Now, to do that, we need to develop Noveneers in 3 ways. The first is character. The character of a Noveneer is defined by a set of 6 specific mindsets and behaviors that we call our culture principles. They challenge us to set high expectations, grow from every challenge, and seek to serve. The second are capabilities, specifically the capabilities to solve problems collaboratively and to develop high levels of academic mastery. Our students require both of those to take on the world with confidence and to create new possibilities for themselves and for others. The third area is connection. Connection to the world and to each other. We are a Pan-African network because we want our students growing up connected and sharing experiences with students from all across the continent. And we invest in a post-school success program to support success and connection beyond school. If we can develop those 3 things well, character, capabilities, and connection, we will meet our mission of developing young people who can shape the world and not just work in it. I started by saying we started Nova Pioneer to offer schools that are different. Too many schools are places where year after year, students learn that they can't. I'm not an artist, I'm not a singer, I can't do science, I can't do math, or I dare not risk trying. At Nova Pioneer, we want to be different in that way. We want to be a place that year after year, week after week, day after day, students have the opportunity to learn and discover that they can, that they are fundamentally capable to learn and to grow, and to take on the world as optimistic and self-assured innovators and leaders.
So many parents have questions about the CBC and how it sets up their child for success.
Hi, friends.
The CBC, or competency-based curriculum, came about in 2016 when the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development did a needs assessment survey. This survey said that a different curriculum was required for students in the country to develop the talents within them. The CBC provides a paradigm shift in the country from a focus on students memorizing content to students developing competencies. The stages of learning are broken down into 4 levels: 2, 6, 3, 3. 2 years of pre-primary in pre-primary 1 and 2, 6 years of primary education from grade 1 to grade 6, 3 years of junior secondary from grades 7 to 9, and 3 years of senior secondary from grades 10 to 12. After completing senior secondary, students are then prepared to either join the world of work or proceed to tertiary institutions. A core difference between 844 and CBC is in its approach to assessment. While students do still sit for summative written assessments at the end of each stage of learning, a greater emphasis is placed on their continuous learning and continuous assessment throughout the journey. We believe in giving our students the best the world has to offer to develop their CBC learning. We call this CBC the Nova Pioneer Way.
We at Nova Pioneer use unique approaches to enhance our delivery of CBC. I will highlight a few. These are our 5 e-learning model, the Singapore approach to mathematics, reading A to Z, and novel study. Our 5 e-learning model is an inquiry-based approach to structuring learning. These 5 E's are engagement, exploration, explanation, elaboration, and evaluation. We use the 5E approach in all of our lessons from pre-primary through secondary. We enhance our mathematics instruction by using Singapore's approach to teaching mathematics. Students learn to think mathematically and rely on the depth of knowledge gained in our previous lessons. We also use a program called Reading A to Z to support our reading instruction in grades PP2 to grade 5. In addition to in-class instruction, students also practice reading with RAS Kids, the Reading A to Z blended reading software for students. I am a teacher and designer of English, and my favorite component is novel study. English instruction is taught using these novels as a focus, with reading, grammar, and writing instruction taught using the text as a common thread. Once students encounter set books in their senior secondary years, they are well prepared to tackle the text as they already have the skills from prior years.
As an educator, I know the importance of support and continuous development in teachers for them to deliver any curriculum successfully. Teachers at Nova Pioneer receive comprehensive support from their instructional deans and school leaders to grow their instructional practice every single week through professional development sessions. These sessions focus on topics such as classroom systems and routines, student culture, lesson internalization and delivery, and data analysis and action planning. Classroom observation is also a crucial part of the school routine, and this helps teachers to receive feedback on their lesson delivery to enhance student learning. Additionally, our teachers attend government-provided CBC training sessions to be equipped with best practices on interpreting and implementing the KCD curriculum.
We have a few metrics we use to measure our student success at Nova Pioneer. The first is the most familiar, our assessments. We want to see that our students are performing well on each of the curriculum objectives taught, and that those who are struggling are growing in their mastery in each subsequent term. The next metric we use is external assessment data, independent of the curriculum. Our students take the NWEA MAP assessment, which tells us how our students are performing relative to other students internationally at the same age. This tells us whether we are preparing students who are globally competitive. Finally, we have our long-term data, how our students perform when they exit our walls and go out into the world. We have alumni who are going to university both at home and abroad. We have alumni who are starting their own businesses. We have alumni who are starting their own nonprofits. Ultimately, our success is measured by the success of our students and the mark that they make on the world. To learn more about how Nova Pioneer develops the next generation of innovators and leaders, attend one of our open days. You'll get to see a sample lesson and hear from our students and teachers. You can also learn more by going to our website or by checking out our blog and social media accounts.
What makes Nova Pioneer students stand out? Well, they're the kind of students who aim high. They're empowered to grow, to do more, be more, and achieve great things. They are resilient and adaptable. They have big hearts, strong character, and solve real-life problems. They are innovators. They are leaders.
What people notice about our students, whether you walk into a campus in South Africa or in Kenya, is how confident they are.
Now, when we started Nova Pioneer, one of our observations was that too often we grew up through school learning not what we can do, but actually what we can't do. And fundamentally, we want a Nova Pioneer to be different in that way. We strive for a Nova Pioneer to be a place where year after year, students are discovering not that they can't, but actually discovering what they can do. That I can, because it's through that fundamental development of a sense of capability that unleashes incredible possibility for them and for the world.
We deliver the national curriculum in Kenya, and we are lucky. We do it in a different way.
We're able to differentiate learning and make learning student-centered, but we focus on a child as an individual.
My role in the classroom is to facilitate learning. My students are able to explore, they're able to ask questions, investigate in everything they do. My work is just going around to make sure it's happening.
So the inquiry-based learning model, which is really what the lessons are designed around, gives children opportunity to share their thinking. It is no longer about the teacher and the board, and teacher sharing her construct of knowledge and her understanding of principles and learning, but to listen to what the children bring, giving them a problem, giving them something to explore and an inquiry or something to investigate within the maths curriculum, within those literacy modules. How can she push the children's thinking?
So it is the joy of learning. They do learn complicated aspects, but even if it's complicated, it is done in such a joyful way. The child, it just sticks with them.
The big change I've seen in my daughter would be her thinking differently. When something was broken in the house, she told me, don't go buy another one, we can fix it. So she told me solutions first. Look for sellotape or glue and fix it. So I asked her how she learned about that. She told me in school.
I had an opportunity to teach grade 3 recently, and we were working on how do you use context clues to figure out words you don't know. And I watched this amazing light bulb moment with the students that I was sitting with, and they got to be reading detectives, put on their magnifying glass, and found words they didn't understand. And they worked together to say, how do I figure out what this word means? And watching them collaboratively figure it out was that moment that showed me this really works.
We started Nova Pioneer because we wanted to offer schools that were different. Schools in which young people would grow up to shape the world and not just work in it. That's why our mission is to develop the innovators and leaders who will shape the African century. Now, to do that, we need to develop Noveneers in 3 ways. The first is character. The character of a Noveneer is defined by a set of 6 specific mindsets and behaviors that we call our culture principles. They challenge us to set high expectations, grow from every challenge, and seek to serve. The second are capabilities, specifically the capabilities to solve problems collaboratively and to develop high levels of academic mastery. Our students require both of those to take on the world with confidence and to create new possibilities for themselves and for others. The third area is connection to the world and to each other. We are a Pan-African network because we want our students growing up connected and sharing experiences with students from all across the continent. And we invest in a post-school success program to support success and connection beyond school. If we can develop those 3 things well, character, capabilities, and connection, we will meet our mission of developing young people who can shape the world and not just work in it. I started by saying we started Nova Pioneer to offer schools that are different. Too many schools are places where year after year, students learn that they can't. I'm not an artist, I'm not a singer, I can't do science, I can't do math, or I dare not risk trying. At Nova Pioneer, we want to be different in that way. We want to be a place that year after year, week after week, day after day, students have the opportunity to learn and discover that they can, that they are fundamentally capable to learn and to grow, and to take on the world as optimistic and self-assured innovators and leaders.
So many parents have questions about the CBC and how it sets up their child for success.
Hi, friends.
The CBC, or competency-based curriculum, came about in 2016 when the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development did a needs assessment survey. This survey said that a different curriculum was required for students in the country to develop the talents within them. The CBC provides a paradigm shift in the country from a focus on students memorizing content to students developing competencies. The stages of learning are broken down into 4 levels: 2, 6, 3, 3. 2 years of pre-primary in pre-primary 1 and 2, 6 years of primary education from grade 1 to grade 6, 3 years of junior secondary from grades 7 to 9, and 3 years of senior secondary from grades 10 to 12. After completing senior secondary, students are then prepared to either join the world of work or proceed to tertiary institutions. A core difference between 844 and CBC is in its approach to assessment. While students do still sit for summative written assessments at the end of each stage of learning, a greater emphasis is placed on their continuous learning and continuous assessment throughout the journey. We believe in giving our students the
the session together. My name is Aaron Mbesa, Deputy School Leader here at Nova Pioneer School, and I will be the Master of Ceremonies. We need to begin with our school prayer, and this is going to be led by one of our students, Karen Kirui from Nova Pioneer Element Girls. Let's please appreciate Karen as she comes forward. As she does that, I must from charity is like, don't be worried. You can just see where she is. Should you need anything, you can just let her know. Secondly, we have washrooms, gents and ladies, which are on the ground floor. So the ushers will just show you to those facilities should you need to use them. Thirdly, we have refreshments just outside this room. Feel free at any moment to just go grab some snacks, bottle of water, or some juice if you like at any moment of the program to refresh and rejuvenate while we carry on with the activities. It's now a special moment when we need to sing the Kenya National Anthem in English, which shall be projected for us. Then after that, we shall sing the German National Anthem in English. So let's start with the Kenya National Anthem in English. May we start? All right. We'll sing along. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders. Let one and all arise, with hearts of song and true. Service be our highest endeavor. For our land of Kenya, heritage of splendor, proud may we stand. In common bond united, builds our nation together. For the glory of Kenya, the fruits of our labor, fill every heart with thanksgiving. Now, the German national anthem in English as we learn German slowly. It's in German slowly. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. There is two versions of German. Sorry to the wrong national anthem. I think we'll stick just to the Kenyan one.
All right. Thank you very much. Apologies. Let's please be seated. I now would like to take this opportunity to welcome our principal, Ms. Christine Katurima, to give us a word of welcome. Can you please appreciate Principal Christine?
Thank you, Deputy Haroon. All protocols observed, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you, our amazing students and staff, and our distinguished guests to this event. I think it's very interesting, as especially teachers and educators, that we use strategies to elicit reaction, engagement, and participation in audiences all the time. So I'd like to do a word association as we start. So I'm going to say a word, and what you would say back to me. When I say Germany, what images come to your mind? Germany. Football made in Germany. You're aging yourself. In our time, football made in Germany and telematch. Well, what we watch sometimes on TV, right? What else? Germany. Cars. Specifically which cars? Mercedes Benz? BMW? What else do you associate Germany with? Volkswagen? Airbus. I think of Adidas. I hope I haven't put in the wrong country, but I love Adidas shirt. Lufthansa. I should have prepped you. And also many times I think of Albert Einstein, right? So invention. Let's do it with another word. When I say Kenya, what do you think of? Kenya. Runners, right? Wildlife. Masai, Nyamachoma, for the hungry ones. Nyamachoma, right? And I think some entrepreneurial spirit is always having side businesses. M-Pesa. Yes, so many of these words. But where is the intersection of the two? Because my reflection when preparing for this event is there has to be a place of intersection for this to be a success, this kind of relationship. For me, it's very, very simple. We didn't say it, but we actually are promoting it today. I think it's our love for education on both sides. There is a passion for education in a Kenyan parent that I've never seen anywhere before. As a school principal, I can say that, looking at the PTA here, represented by our chair and executive here. I think it's the same thing on the German side. I don't know if I need it. I'm fine, thank you. Do I?
You're allowed it now.
All right. With me or without? Oh, it's for the, okay.
That's the reason. All right. But I think the passion for education is evident on both sides. In the past centuries, we've heard about inventors and inventions from the German side. The refrigerator, right? Relativity, yes. There's so many inventions that came from the German side, including pharmaceuticals. I think in this century, and we believe it's the African century, is what we say in our Nova schools, inventions more and more students education. I'm often reminded of a quote I heard when I was very, very young in college, second year. Relationships are the key to life. And one of the most beautiful things about our Nova Pioneer 3 C's, that is connections and capabilities, truly is outside the theoretical. What do I mean by that? It's our common thread. It's woven across our schools We have our 6 schools represented today. It's woven across our student body. We have students with us today and woven across our teams. And today I dare say it's those 3 C's that are at the core of this relationship we're establishing with Okki Solutions and our German friends. Our shared desire to develop student character that can do with the highest expectations of themselves and a humane nature that puts others before self has brought us today. Nova Pioneer and friends, Okki Solutions and friends. Our shared desire to offer children opportunities that bring out their strengths and talents that they didn't even know they possessed has brought us here today. Nova Pioneer and friends, and Okki Solutions and friends. Our shared desire to build bridges that connect rather than divide has brought us here today. Nova Pioneer and Okki Solutions. Essentially, we're on the same page. As we start this journey, I think it would be very important to just recognize the members of our Nova Pioneer Kenyan teams and members and friends who are in the room with us. It's very, very exciting to have our PTA here with us, our
executives, Ms. Milka Mureithi and Carol Munywoki is on her way as well. We are very proud of our parent-school partnership. In fact, today when our chair was parking her car, she was sent to the staff parking, which was interesting. The guard said, "Don't you teach here?" So that tells you how much she's here and how connected we are. I'd love to recognize our principals here with first our Tattoo Boys principal, Mr. Miraba, who's here in the room. Give us a wave offering. Our Athi River principal is on her way. However, we have apologies from our Eldoret Girls principal, Martha Tubey, Hilary Toom, our Eldoret Boys principal, and then our Tattoo Girls principal, Dr. Nyabokin Duati. I'd also like to recognize our friends from Tattoo City who have been a partner from day one. If you would wave at us, Mr. Brian and Christine, my namesake, we're so happy to have you here today. As well as our parents and of course our students, the VIPs of the day. Students, if you could please stand up, because this is for you. It's not really about us going to Germany. It's about you having an exchange. So our wonderful students who are here today, we welcome you to this event. There'll be a time of interaction. So we've physically placed ourselves in this way because by the end of the day, we want us to mingle. So we don't have a rift or divide between our friends on this side from the Okki Solutions and friend side, and our side, we should all be intertwined. So thank you for being here, Noveneers. We give you snaps. We give you snaps. You may have a seat. So if we could move to the next slide. So what's happening at Nova Pioneer? I could say so much about our schools, but I think the word that describes us best is our passion for everything we do. We have 6 schools in Kenya. I've mentioned the different locations they're in. We were the first primary school 5.5 years ago, and we're blessed to continue growing as 6 schools. 2 schools are already engaged in an exchange program right now, and we're excited to launch the program officially across our 6 schools with you. At Nova Pioneer Eldoret Boys, they began a relationship with HGT School in Germany on 10th May 2023, just this year, just a couple of months ago. So far, they've connected through video exchanges and video calls. They've covered introductions and cultural aspects, always interesting. They interact using technology. So as you know, we're schools of innovators and leaders. We are Google schools, and we always welcome more forms of technology. But they use Padlet, an educational interactive platform, and there they've shared their desire for the program. So for the students who are going to be joining, this is your program. We want it to be student-driven, and then we will guide and facilitate. So we've provided a platform for you. It is my hope that you take full advantage of that. At Tattoo Boys, they began their relationship with Humboldt Gymnasium Trier School in Germany in June of this year. So far, they've connected through similar video exchanges covering academics, cultural aspects, school routines, and their personal hobbies. I dare say hobbies is probably the most interesting topic here. So it's very exciting to see what has begun. But where we could go, I think for me is most thrilling. Where could we go? Where are we headed? And so it is actually very exciting that we'll be hearing remarks from the head of education of the delegation of German Industry and Commerce for Eastern Africa, Mr. Brunos Bacchus, on this very issue this morning. Prior to that, I would love to now go into introducing one of, I think, the people I find an impactful leader and confidant who birthed the vision of Nova Pioneer, our co-founder and director, Mr. Christopher Hayemba, with a CV a mile long. But I'd like to tell you behind the CV who the man is. Mr. Hayemba is a build bridger. He bridges he bridges people together. He bridges culture together. He bridges corporations together. And we're very blessed to have that leadership from the top down because it trickles. It has then created a desire for us as school leaders to build strong partnerships. Mr. Hayemba is a relationship initiator. Just now, he introduced me to a former student from Alliance and said, he's with KWS. And immediately, an environmental club popped up into our conversation. And this happens all the time, not just today. It is the same way we were introduced to Mr. Francisco Masinde, otherwise known as Kiko, for this relationship that has developed. In fact, Mr. Hayemba gave me a call and said, I think there's someone you need to meet, and he's driving to your school. Literally, that is how we met, and I love it. I love that sense of excitement. That is what Nova is. I feel like that's what our partnership is. There's a sense of excitement and urgency to get it off the ground and do it well. Mr. Hayemba is also a servant leader. You would never know his titles unless somebody slipped you his CV. And I'm very proud to be on the team that is working to raise students who will change the world because of the vision that was birthed from him many years ago. We are blessed to have him steer the helm of this Nova pioneership. Without further ado, let's give him some snaps. Mr. Christopher Hayemba.
Yeah, thank you, Principal. Thank you very much, Principal. Very gracious words. Yes. Oh, okay. And these days I use my eyeglasses because of aging. To demonstrate that, I'll introduce there are 3 former students of mine here, but I'll introduce 2 to start with. Where is Watson? Watson Karagathu, Alliance High School, class of 1989. He's the one Principal referred to. And then a classmate, a friend, a business partner of Francisco. Teddy Macharia must have been the other name, eh? And I just flew in from Germany last night. Kigali, it was in Kigali. Yeah, those 2. Francisco, I want to leave the burden of introducing our friends and the colleagues from Germany, except Bruno, who I have met twice. This is the second time, I think. And we are very happy to have you here. Mr. Bruno. Bruno is the name. So you'll do that when you come to speak. We have also, the principal has referred to our, we are very blessed to have our PTA chair. She'll be speaking to you, but real great and pleased to see you this morning. Then I want also to introduce somebody. Principal would be shy to be introducing for some reason. I call him the second gentleman, and that is Dr. Sung Lee, right there. Second gentleman, because he's the husband to our dear principal. Welcome, sir. And we really appreciate the support you give our principal and the great work she does. So we have the global CEO of Nova Pioneer Schools. We have 6 schools here in the country and 10 now in South Africa. He's actually present in the country, and we've been busy most of this week. Then he caught unwell. He caught flu, so it put him down yesterday. We were in a function, he had to abandon it. So he's unable to join you, but he passes his greetings and appreciation that you are here. The other person is Director of Schools, Dr. London. Same problem of flu bug. And I would have also had a problem had I not hung around Dr. Francisca Masinde, who prescribed medication for me. And, he looked at what's available in German, and we found something closer to it. And Hocha, it sorted me out. So I'm pleased. So I'll go very quickly. So London is also not here for that reason. And the principal, Christine, talked about her colleagues as well. So very quick remarks. Of course, very excited about today's momentous occasion, marking this relationship. Yesterday, I got mixed up with people who are not very organized, and they got me to waste some 3-4 hours in an event that would have started at 12. And yes, and I explained to Marcellus. Marcellus will be introduced properly by him. So, Principal, I didn't prepare my slides. So allow me to make reference here and so on. I jotted some quick notes of reflection that I'll very quickly, share. They are my thoughts about what's happening today. And so opening our eyes to different ways of living just may show us how much we all have in common. That's how an exchange of this type, the meaning it brings. We want Nova Pioneer Schools to have formal exchange partnerships with schools and institutions in Germany. And we are happy that within a few days of reflecting on what shape this takes, the principals, our school leaders quickly got things moving, bringing in students, and it has now taken the shape that the Principal Christine shared with us. We want our students and teachers to converse with students in German schools through technology-enabled global classrooms. And I think that's what is happening, that exchange, technology-enabled, and they see themselves like they are in the same classroom. Today's technology makes that possible. And what it does then, it provides for, it's kind of, we achieve equality here. all our pupils are able to participate in that. But if this was limited to students traveling, you may discover then it starts discriminating. Then only those that can afford tickets will travel and then, share and interact the way this technology has done. So what is being launched today will give Nova Pioneer students and their contemporaries in Germany invaluable global outlook, which inspires exchange and study abroad programs, course offerings, classroom activities, etc. So the opportunities of an exchange give openness to new ideas and new people that will make our schools refreshingly different. And in an era when it has become increasingly important to think globally and to act locally, we must embrace opportunities. We must embrace opportunities of the kind that are underpinned by today's event. Then lastly, I have two examples to share. Principal Andrew Meraba at the boys' school, and you will come on the stage and introduce our other principal, because she does such a beautiful job of introducing people. So I don't want to spoil it. And Principal Meraba, during the graduation day that happened about 2 weeks, no more, 3 or so weeks in his school, the guest speaker was somebody, Martin Mbaya. And Martin Mbaya helped, one of the things he did for the country is helping initiate and start what currently is the best business school in the country, hosted at Strathmore University. He's also in other, pushing other ideas around artificial intelligence. They are running a great project at Strathmore called iLab. Now, Martin Bayer came from a very rural community in Meru. But while at Alliance High School, he got an opportunity to participate in an exchange to a school called Brooks. I think it was Brooks Watson. Yeah, Brooks High School in Boston. And this opened up a whole world to this boy. If he had not participated in that exchange, Martin would never have gone to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He would not have gone to Kennedy School of Government in Harvard. He would not have done all the great things that he did. Then the second example is another boy who came from a slum area in Limuru. This boy was called, and is still called, John Kashoram-Buru. He also took part in that exchange. And this is a boy that was from the slums. But because admission into Alliance High School was and still is based on what is called quota system. So every area is allocated slots. That's how he managed then to end up into Alliance High School. And from that community that is under-resourced, but he participated in an exchange. And you can imagine the cultural shock for this boy finding himself in USA in winter. Here in the country, we don't have winter or anything, resembling it. But the 1 month he spent there, the school community he joined found him very strange, and so on. And they were interested in, getting him exposed a lot more. So they took him to institutions in Boston and other places, including MIT. The short story is we got him into MIT and did as an undergraduate to masters in electrical engineering and computer science. And then he also, because of that exposure, he was curious. He got interested in what goes on in Wall Street and so on. So the short story and long is a very long story but exciting. He then changed to the world of his background. He was anchored. It was really anchored in science, in engineering. He then started what he saw on Wall Street. He thought probably he had done a wrong, university degree. So he enrolled himself at Wharton Business School and did, and I'm told it's the best business school in the world, but I think Germany has the best business school. You will share with us. Though I think you are famous in engineering and technology. So after that, he then got employed in the Bank of America. He rose to be, they call them vice presidents. Bank of America globally is divided into 4 divisions. So he became a vice president and headed one of, and there was then the lead in one of the 4 major divisions in the Bank of America. The first African to have talk about Black Americans and Africans, Black Africans. He was the first one of the entire group to get to that level. John Kashoramburu, I think he spoke to the boys at the beginning one time. But you can see what an exposure of this kind can do. And it wasn't as structured the principles here as now you have structured. So this one, if Africa is going to change, it is this kind of initiative through exposure. And to complete the story on John Kashoramburu, he is now, when he wanted to come back to Africa, he started in South Africa as MD of Absa Capital Bank. Then he wanted to come back to Kenya. Now he's the group MD of NCBA Bank. And I think you are a friend of the wife. You went to school together. PTS, she's the chair of Young Golfers. Kenya Golf Foundation, and so on. Kashoramburu, I can tell you, would never have found that wife if he had not participated in the exchange. He would still be in Limuru, in the village, and so on. So, Principal, having shared that, I want just to add to the voice of the Principal in welcoming you here and appreciating your presence today. Principal, come and introduce your colleague. Yeah, thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you. Thank you.
I wasn't aware the story would end up being about the wife, but that was a good twist. Thank you so much, Mr. Hayemba. You see how he is quite a great storyteller. I'd love to now ask our Managing Director of Okki Solutions, Mr. Francisco Masinde, to come up and introduce our German delegation and friends from Okki Solutions. Welcome. As he comes up to join me, I noticed we were joined by a couple of folks who are very important to us who slipped in. Our Nova Pioneer Athi River Principal, Edna Ayalo, who has just joined us here, and her team is also here. You are so welcome. She will be speaking later today and helping us with a special moment on the program. I also recognize that the Tattoo Boys PTA chair has also arrived to join us. If you wouldn't mind standing up so we could recognize you. Welcome so much. All right, Mr. Francisco Masinde, let's give him some snaps as he introduces our friends from Okki Solutions. I'm gonna pass this to you. This piece. Thank you.
I will try to. Yeah. Thank you very much, Madam Principal. It's always a pleasure. I'm really out of breath seeing all of you here because, first of all, you all look amazing. So thank you for waking up and putting up the show. Secondly, this journey for me began 15 years ago. So today, it might be the first day for Nova and for interactions, but it began 15 years ago. And in those 15 years, I've had amazing and really difficult moments. And for that, I'm really grateful that it made me who I am, and it gave me values and principles which I continue to share, and I'm hoping that I can do that much more. Since I'll have my own time to have my own stories, I will save you for now and go straight ahead and introduce people who have been part of my journey the last 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, to make this what is possible. And most of all, the country which has opened my eyes, and it made me pose the question, what do they do differently? That's the question which I try to answer every day and say, are they better? And the answer we all know is no. So what's the difference? So I would like to introduce first and foremost the Okki Solutions team. We have the whole Kenyan team here. So I'll start with the Kenyan team with my partner, Ted Masharia. So Ted, I always say, if you go anywhere, you need a Ted. So I always have a Ted. Then I would like to introduce Miss Pauline Hakasa, Dasha, and Becky, and also a very special friend of mine, someone who tells me the truth, someone who will always be with me, and someone I respect dearly and love dearly, Mr. Seif Osama. Now that being said, let's move to Okki International, the German side. And I would like to introduce Mr. Jens Peters. Then I would also like to introduce Mr. Marcelo's boss. They will get the opportunity to say a word or two. Just allow me to pick up my phone. Thank you. Sorry, I can't remember all the names of our German partners, and I don't want to leave anyone out. So I'll do my best to try and see how many representatives we have today. So to begin with, our guest speakers from the German side, we have a representative from AHK TVET Department, Education, Mr. Bruno Beckers. Then the second speaker, we have Mr. Kevin Makete, I hope I'm saying that right, from Lufthansa. I believe we have Miss Eda Otieno from GIZ. Okay, she hasn't arrived yet. Do we have Miss Helen Onyango from Krones? Rehana Mohammed from City Clock. Okay. Then Christine Amira. Thank you, from Willow. We do have Mr. Baikwinga Kobia, from Execugate, the CEO. Aurelius Mukuna, Director, Parking. I think I saw he sent me a message, he was running late. Caroline Kipkorir, Kepinski. Okay. Alois Otieno. Running late. Cynthia Wambui. Okay, then Phyllis Gitua. Is this? Okay, Mr. Edward Wangeni, I know he's running late. He's the UN Global Director, but he said he will join us. Mrs. Maureen Okore. Actually, Mrs. Maureen Okore for Nova Schools, you have to pay attention because I'm sure it's from Fairmount, Norfolk. Thank you for hosting us, and it's always lovely to stay at Norfolk. Then we have Grace Muigai from I&M Bank. Thank you. And in case I haven't mentioned your name and you're here, kindly just stand up and mention who you're representing. I see a lot of new faces. I see Lillian Onam, for example, from KCB. And I see Honorable Lois from the Office of the President. Thank you.
My name is Martin Kaitai from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you. Then behind. Thank you. More University are also Okki partners when it comes to healthcare. That's the results of the TVET delegation we had in June. So we are happy to have you. Thank you. So we can continue the line. Brenda Naylor. And now to the most important people who ensure actually companies run and companies become, what they are, and kids and everyone in our lives. These are the most, not only important, they're the people we love the most. Can anyone guess who these people are? Mothers and wives. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my wife. I know she's watching, Jasmine Masinde. And thank you for your support. And also what you don't know, she's the genius behind all this. So she's watching from Germany. Sticking on the wives topic, I would like to invite, sorry, I forgot your name. Jolene, the wife to Kevin. Thank you for the support. I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I did, my apologies, but I'll try to move forward. Okay. Now I want us to hear a bit from Marcelo's boss. Marcelo's is a retired German teacher, and I think he has more experience and insight than I do. Marcelo's, please keep it short. Thank you.
So, jumping in.
That's okay.
Thank you. Chico said, I'm a retired teacher. So I consider myself to be kind of senior expert as it comes to schools in Germany, because as an experienced teacher who dropped out because of retirement and who did it with all his heart, the job, I think it's good to have me in the Kiko Solutions company to advise him on schools and to bring together, which is also my job, schools in Germany with maybe schools in Kenya. And the first school that joined the program was the Humboldt Gymnasium in Trier. Trier, by the way, is the oldest town of Germany. It's a Roman foundation. And, well, I'm a teacher. Teachers ask questions. Does anybody know who Humboldt is? Alexander von Humboldt? Did you ever come across that name? Yes, of course, the Germans should. But astonishingly, Alexander von Humboldt is not even known among many Germans. Educated Germans know him. Alexander von Humboldt, he was a friend of Goethe. Goethe Institute, that's a name you know. It's named after the most famous German poet and author and dramatist. And Goethe also was a natural scientist. And natural science was inspired by Alexander von Humboldt. He was a guy, he came from the German nobility. His mother did not want him to do more than just be a nobleman. But when she died, she took all the things he got from his mother and made money from it and went to South America. And he is considered to be the discoverer of South America. And he was a big explorer, and he brought a lot of South American culture to Germany, the knowledge about the culture of the people who live there actually, not of those in charge of power, but those who really work and live and do their living there. And he is a natural scientist. He was a natural scientist. He is considered to be the father of ecology. And the father of ecology taught us to find a new way of looking at the world. So, in his memory, I must say, today we must also find new discoveries. One of these is that we are a family worldwide and that we have to support and to respect each other. One of the mottos that the Okki solution has is culture. Culture means not to bring one culture to another culture and kind of dominate that culture, but to have exchange. So one reason why I'm here for, to give you an example, is beekeeping. Everybody who knows me, he brings this topic to beekeeping. I'm introducing the Kenyan top bar hive into Germany. That's at least what I'm planning to do. So I need the support of Kenyan beekeepers because they are the experts. I'm not the expert. I might be an expert in a German kind of beekeeping, but not in the Kenyan way. And so what we have to do is bring our ideas together, bring our experience together, bring our knowledge together. And the only way you can do that is bring people together. And the program that we are starting today is a program of bringing people together. And, well, That's actually all I have to say. Thank you very much.
For those who know Marcelo's, they will congratulate him twice. So let's clap for him again.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir. So secondly, no, I'm just safe. I'm going to invite now one of our guest speakers, Mr. Kepi Makete. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all the boys and girls from the schools, all protocols observed. Schönen guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen. Habari za asubuhi, mabibi na mabwana. It's really great for me to be here together with my colleagues Brenda and Silvano, and of course my wife Jolene, to talk a little bit about something that we at the Lufthansa Group do all the time. And our motto, our slogan, if you will, is to connect people, cultures, and communities in a sustainable way. And connecting people is something that we as an airline do every day of the year. Looking at what Okki Solutions, together with their partners, are working on introducing here in Kenya, in bringing Kenyans and Germans together on a regular basis for learning, for further education, and for exposure to different cultures, I think is something that is very close to our heart in the Lufthansa Group. As I started in 3 languages, I don't speak Swahili fluently, unfortunately, but hatua kwa hatua, as we say. Yeah? I have to give credit to that to one of my colleagues who's not with us today. So. But it's really amazing to listen to some of the inspirational messages coming from the colleagues in the schools and of course from Okki Solutions about the big ambition, the big plans to really help people grow. And I think that's one of the key aspects of an exchange program. I personally benefit from exchange almost every day in my career. Working in Kenya, working in different countries, these are exchanges. Whether they are from a student level or on a professional level makes no difference. Yeah, and to the youngsters that are with us today, you know, these exchanges, let them be the bridge into the future for you. This is just the beginning. Once you go out into the bigger world, there is so much more exchange that can be done across cultures, across religions, across languages. You know, language is always an interesting topic, and actually my grandfather always told me that the more languages you speak, the more lives you live. And this is really true. My wife will tell you that sometimes I live a very German life. Very, well, stubborn maybe sometimes, but very regulated. But at the same time, I live in Kenya. I like to think I live somewhat of a Kenyan life. I'm even learning how to make sukuma. Yeah, so this is bridging cultures at the end of the day. And we're very excited as the Lufthansa Group to be working together with all of you to make that bridge between Germany and Kenya. That's where we really specialize. And we're very excited to be part of that journey. Whether it's the philosophical journey of having that exchange, or whether it's really the physical journey of getting on the airplane and flying the 9 hours to Germany, to go to the Humboldt University, for instance. And did you know that the world's largest squid is named after Humboldt? So I didn't know that before either. Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. So yeah, I think I'm a sales guy. We can talk for hours on various topics. That's not the point today. Let me just close in saying we're really excited to be working with all of you. We're excited to be able to have the youngsters on the flights to Germany, to go and experience new cultures. And all I can say is asante sana to all of you. And we really look forward to making this a really big and engaging experience into the future. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you for that wonderful speech. So next, I want to introduce our special guest from AHK, They are the ones in charge of trade and bilateral relationships between Kenya and Germany. Mr. Bruno Beckers.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I'm grateful that have been invented. Thank you to Okki Solutions. Thank you to you, Principal Christine. Asanteni sana. So I had to say something in Swahili. But honestly, the best thing I experienced when I came here in 2018, in my home region in Germany, we have a greeting. It's very short. It's called Un. The answer is good. That means sasa poa. Same thing. So, okay, again, thank you again. I want to talk to you about something that brought us here. Actually, the something that is the reason for our being mankind. What started it? I could ask you that, but I don't know. This is not a seminar. It's communication. When we learned to communicate, we started to develop mankind. And I never forget that the cradle of mankind is here in Kenya. I visited Lucy many times because I like this museum. And yes, I want to talk about communication and training. This is my specialty. I'm working in the training department of an IHK and AHK for now 27 years. So you might call me an expert. I don't actually, but you never learn everything. You never learn to know everything. Anyway, I will give you an example. I want to travel with you. I want to travel with you back in time, and I want to travel with you some way. So the training, what is it actually? I want to travel back in time until the 12th century. That's long, almost 900 years. And I want to start to travel in Trier. And in Trier, there was a mason. So how was the training done in those days? If you wanted to become a mason, you had to look for a master trainer, a master mason. You went to him, and when he accepted you, he trained you. You had to pay a salary. You had to pay for the training, not the other way around, as it is in Germany now. And when you finished your training, you didn't start working for him. You had to travel. It's called to go going auf die Walz, on the walls, but not the dancing walls, but you walk. You walk to a different region, all over Europe, not only Germany. You walk and work, and you go to other masons, and you learn different techniques you did not know yet. You didn't know yet. So this guy, he left Trier, and he went to Paris, because he heard there's a cathedral in Brocas, it's called Notre Dame, and this cathedral has a lot of new things. He came from Trier. Trier is famous for the Roman buildings like blocks. They're stable. But in Notre Dame was supposed to go up to the heaven. Static was a new thing, new statics, and he wanted to learn that. So he went to Paris, walking. It takes a while, it's around, I don't know, 600 kilometers. Huh? So when he arrived there, he looked for a master trainer, for a master mason. And this mason, he found him, taught him, and he worked for him. He learned new techniques. He was a mason already, but he learned new things, many new things. For months he was working there. Then he went back to Germany. He went to Cologne. And Cologne was another big cathedral, Gothic cathedral, in building, so he could use his new knowledge, his new skills to build this new thing, this new cathedral. And this is actually how a training works, how you have to handle it. If you learn something somewhere and you stay at the same shop, workshop or whatever for all of your life, you might do a very, very good job, but usually you don't learn new things. To learn new things, you have to travel. You don't have to travel physically, actually. It's helpful. But you have to have an open mind. You have to communicate. You have to talk to people, to other experts. Be open, learn, check new things. So this is what I mean, what I was... No, let's go back now to the here and now. And this is an opportunity now for you guys there. You have the opportunity to talk, to communicate with your fellow students in Germany. This is the start, communication. only the start. And then you might be able to go there. They might be able to come here. And you learn from each other. You learn new things, a lot of new things. And this is how mankind progresses. Unfortunately, mankind progresses not only in the good sense. The times not so nice. But you can work on it. You can make it better. Communicate with your fellow students in Germany. Meet them, greet them, learn. On the ground there, teach them on the ground here. I think this is an opportunity that's exceptionally good. Many people would like to do that and cannot. You have the choice, you have the chance, so grip it, do it. Fortunately, you don't have to walk to Germany, you can use this, guys. Makes it a bit faster. And yes, I think this is what I want to tell you. I'm mostly busy with vocational training. Not everything is vocational training, but everything, training and learning is the same thing. If it's a university thing or if it's a workshop training, doesn't matter at all. The most important thing is the V in vocational training, the vocation. Vocation is a calling. Don't do anything when your parents tell you you have to become a doctor and you have absolutely you don't want to, then do it. I know it's difficult to do. No, honestly. We have two children, a boy and a daughter, and we raised them. We didn't push them to do anything. We let them decide. My daughter, for instance, when she was 14, she said, I want to become an actress. And we said, yeah, you're 14, girl, blah, 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 actress. She will grow out of it. She did not. She did not. She traveled the world when she had her high school degree, and she said, I will spend 2 years. If I find a school that trains me to become an actress, in these 2 years, I will do it. If not, I will do something else. And she did it. She found one. She started acting in Edinburgh, is living there now. She's an actress. She's unemployed, of course, because actors are always unemployed. But her dream became true. She does other things to earn money. She's living, but she's happy. And this is what I mean. If we are done with our studies, our training, or whatever, and we go to work for the rest of our life every morning, that's not life. But if you go to work, no job is perfect, of course. But if you like your job, you lead a happier life. And I think I talked enough now. I'm just a bit like you. I can start talking and stuff. Now, okay. I think I give my message. I really appreciate that I can be here and talk to you. And I think this project will be a really good thing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to follow up and maybe meet you again. And I think it will grow. I hope it will grow. And you guys have a chance. Take it and go ahead. Thank you all. Thank you.
Asante. I'll have to take the role of this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Because I had the office of president had to leave. So welcome, Ms. Lois, and say a word.
Good morning, all of us, everyone. All protocols observed. My name is Dr. Lois Rono from Office of the President as a health advisor in the Office of the President. And it's such a pleasure and honor to be here today. We had met some few months ago, Masindea, and it's to see this happen. And we are grateful, and as they allow me to just share briefly on behalf of what the Kenya Kwanza government is really looking at. I think a few weeks ago, we flagged off some nurses to go to UK, and with our trading relationship partner between Germany and Kenya, You are number 2 actually in Europe, as in the German government is the second. And since we did for the nurses for UK, then I believe we should be doing also for German soon. But this initiative for exchange program between for students learning here and cross cultural exchange is really good, because it brings a well-rounded person, and the world has become a global village, and therefore it's really important and paramount that we learn from one another, we build one another, so that we are able to make a more sustainable and resilient communities. So I'll just have such brief remarks, and I know the PS had been invited as well, and he sent a representative, Dr. Judith Awinja. So just because I have other engagements, that I requested to just give a small, just a small, then I leave. But we really do appreciate. Thank you so much, the team from Germany, and thank you, Nova Pioneer. We appreciate. I think my daughter should really join this school. Yesterday I was somewhere and we were discussing schools, and apparently Nova really came up so strongly. Oh, it is good. You are doing an amazing job. You are really doing an amazing job, and the fact that you have 6 here and 10 in SA, I think you should also increase the number here. I think in our neighborhood we need 1. I was calculating the distance, like, okay, I think
Which neighborhood?
yes. We need you there. But thank you so much. Have a great day and a blessed interaction. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for coming.
Thank you.
I think we need to.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Madam Christine, I think back to you before I do my part.
Sure.
So, guests from the government of Kenya here today. Thank you so much. Ms. Sang, Mr. Haimba will escort you. Thank you so much. We also have representatives from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we would love to invite you to say hello to our children and our guests at this time. Welcome. I will pin this on you.
Oh, all right.
It is being shared. I'm a tech person now.
You're a tech person now.
Same thing is tech.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Kahemba, I think, has just walked out. The principal, Mr. Masinde, our friends from Germany, distinguished guest students, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Matthew Kaikai. I am from the State Department for Foreign Affairs. I'm Assistant Director in the Office of the Director General in charge of bilateral and political affairs. I'm very happy to be with you this morning and to join this very, very important event. Actually, I want to first of all thank you, Mr. Masinde, for extending the invitation to our Principal Secretary, who would have really liked to join you this morning, but he couldn't due to other prior scheduled engagement. So he asked me to come here and be part of this important official launch of the Pioneer Connect program. I got to know about the program yesterday, and thank you so much for your personal assistant who actually visited our ministry and made sure that today we are here. That's Becky Lagat. I don't know where she is. Thank you so much. She personally came and ensured that the ministry is represented today in this very important event. I just want to say that this initiative is very much welcome, as it's not only foster knowledge exchange, but also contribute to enhancement of the already existing good bilateral relations between Kenya and Germany. It also gives students a chance, an opportunity to gain valuable insights from both countries and expand their perspective through cultural exchanges and activities. I've just heard that being emphasized here by our friends here, whom I'm so happy about, that they already speak Swahili. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, it's important to note that Kenya, of course, and Germany enjoy warm and cordial relations. Germany was the first country to recognize Kenya as an independent state in 1963. So that is how important it is. The two countries have established diplomatic relations, with, of course, Germany having a resident embassy here in Nairobi, and also Kenya having a resident embassy in Berlin. That just goes to tell you how important our relationship is. This year, of course, the two countries, Kenya and Germany, will celebrate 60 years of diplomatic relations. And Kenya is Germany's most important trading partner in East Africa, while Germany ranks top 10 of Kenya's export destinations. It's also important that we engage with Germany at a very high level. And just to mention that in May this year, we had His Excellency the Chancellor of Germany visiting Kenya. And during that official visit, we had, of course, various cooperation that we entered into between the two countries. Also, our President, His Excellency William Ruto, had official visit to Germany in March this year, where he attended, of course, Berlin Energy Transition Dialogue. You remember that dialogue, that conference. So there are several areas that our two countries are collaborating in, including TVET, energy, climate, and many more. So I just wanted to highlight to you these few points on Kenya-German relations, and to also underscore the importance of this program of Pioneer Connect being launched today, which will go a long way to enhance the already good existing relation between our two countries. So mine is just to wish you all the best, and to wish this program all the success that it requires. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for involving the State Department for Foreign Affairs in this. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderfully put.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. And now to one of our first arrivals of the day. I'm going to give her the recognition from the government of Kenya. Can we give snaps for leadership from the Kenya government side? She arrived first this morning, and she has some words for us representing the Ministry of Health. I'd love for her to introduce herself and hear amazing remarks she has brought to our school today. Welcome.
Thank you. I thank you. Yeah, we will try our best, right?
Thank you.
And this is for you.
Thank you.
Okay, asante.
Good morning, all guests and students and my colleagues from the government, all protocols observed. Again, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Dr. Judith Awinja from the Ministry of Health, Director Nursing and Midwifery Services. I'm representing the Principal Secretary for Medical Services, PS Hari Kimtai. So I was informed about coming here yesterday in the evening, and I was like, what is it? Is there any good link? Can I get an opportunity of bringing my point to home, or what can I do? So in the morning, I just reached the office and I said, I don't even know where this place is. I have to start early. That's why she said. I said I reached early because I didn't know where I was going. So I just picked the government vehicle and we started coming. Fortunately enough, I arrived very early and very fast. To the point is that we have been having so much of relationships with different governments. Right now we have a G2G, government-to-government relationship with the UK on migration of nurses. And many other countries are coming to Kenya to request And the reason is there's a study which was done internationally and it proved that Kenyan nurses are the best globally. And this is because of how we uphold our standards. The East African community has been trying to harmonize the nursing profession, nursing and midwifery profession, but they cannot meet our standards, so we have never harmonized. So many of the people don't make it to what we need. They go to train to other countries, East African countries, then they come back, they want to work, but we shall still ask you, can you show us? And now that is where people don't want. So we uphold our standards critically. And it's the reason as to many countries come to Kenya to ask for our nurses and midwives. But we give them with conditions also. When we agree with MOU, that is the condition that we agree. And now I would wish now to bring it forth. Germans have been doing so well in academia and education. We are equally there, ready to collaborate with the Germans to continue with our nursing, both education and migrating some of them. You test, feel how they are, and you let us know if you really need us to continue. It is a great opportunity to float up that we can really collaborate in many issues, both training and also education. It's a good exposure, very critical, as he said, Mr. Haemba said here. I am one of the people who was exposed and started a community that has become the backbone in the health sector. I went to Japan sometime very many years ago, 2006, who was existing that time. Yeah, I was a very small girl and I liked the way they were working with the community. And I came to the country and I asked my bosses, kindly, please, let us do this thing. I think it's very important. This is how I started the community strategy program in Kenya. And now it is the one that is the backbone of primary health care in the country. The reason was to empower the community. Thank you. To empower the community to take charge of their own health. When I started the program, it was so good. Now it is the one running up to today. I also went to Israel. I started with the health system strengthening in leadership, management, and governance. It is moving on very well today. So exposure is critical. But if we do more exchange programs, as he said, it's a very important thing. And I want now to market our nurses and we see how best we can do many exchange programs, both in working and also education and many other beyond. Come and see how we are doing, and we would also wish to come and see what you are doing. And we have a government-to-government agreement, and we move on very well. This is the critical message I brought here, and we can agree on many other terms beyond that. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you so much, Dr. Awinja. Can we please put our hands together and just snap for her? Let's snap for her. Thank you so much. So, Kenyan nurses are the best. Not just in Kenya, but in the world. And our Kenyan students here are also the best. Can you please appreciate them? So this opportunity is coming at the right time for our students. It's a really important moment right now. And once again, we want to appreciate our dear guests, distinguished guests from Germany and also from the Kenya government and the rest of the friends of Nova Pioneer that you have with us. I now want to request Mr. Masinde to come and just explain to us what are we trying to achieve through this partnership and why Germany, why Nova Pioneer. Then after that, we will go to an intermission. Let's please welcome Dr. Masinde.
The other side, the other way. Okay. Well, yeah, like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aaron. So now I'm back.
I hope everyone got the opportunity to hear out the different stakeholders. And just to mention on nursing, we are actually working on a model. And like I said, our partners, Moi University and Daystar University, will be the first one who we will be create this model to create the partnership between Kenya and Germany. Okay, now I'll try to keep mine short. So as Okki Solution and Nova Pioneer, the Pioneer Connect partnership is guided with 3 values: connection, culture, and competence. So it's as simple as that. The reason these 3 values are very important, these are derived from my personal experience and my observations and my interactions with Germans and Kenyans to see what makes it to have a rich, full exposure. Exposure on its own, it's not worthwhile. Reason being, there is a lot of people, Kenyans, who are not staying in Kenya. They have been out there in the US, Canada, Germany, but they don't give back. Or you don't integrate, you don't connect with the people. You go to Germany and you stay, Kenyan and stubborn. So it's important to be able to connect to people. Through connection and through communication is the only way we can showcase ourselves. And if you want to showcase yourself in a positive light, you have to be able to interact. I argue always, whenever I'm with Germans, that the best minds I've met, and I haven't met them in Germany, I've met them in Kenya. But this is something which is not known in Germany. This is something which, whenever you're talking to Germans, the majority of them, the ones who do not have exposure, they'll think, well, Kenya is just another African country, helpless, needs donors, And that's not the image we want to create. The reason being why we need to put ourselves out there, why we need to show ourselves that we are giants, why we need to showcase that we are a country of champions, is because if we want these big countries to not only respect us, but to engage with us at eye level, we have to showcase the best of us. Because when they come over here, they're bringing their best companies. They're bringing the Lufthansas, they're bringing the Deutsche Bahn, they're bringing Siemens. So it's only fair and equally that when we go to Germany, we bring the best of us. And my way to do that, I said, I want to have a bigger impact because I asked the Germans, what are you doing for this interaction? Germany has been in Kenya since recognizing Kenyan independence. They have had different bodies. We have the DAAD, it's called DAD. We have got the institute. And most amazing thing is Germany is very welcoming when it comes to foreigners who are skilled, who are ambitious, basically Kenyans. But Kenyans don't have information and access to Germany. And every time, whenever I'm in Germany and I ask a Kenyan student which language they take and they say French, I don't have anything against the French, but I say, hey, if you can just speak a bit of German, B1, you can easily access Germany. And if you access Germany, you are accessing EU, right? So that's where our need for this cultural integration needs to come in. But this need has to be both ways. It has to be a mutual respect. So when Germans come over here, when they bring their companies, we should not be the ones saying, you know everything. Yeah, you're doing it right. You have the best engineers. No, they don't. And actually, that's the biggest issue, because if we're gonna put someone we say we want to be mutual on a pedestal, we'll never learn. We'll always be the one who needs to be supported, right? So we don't get to showcase what we have. In my last 5 years, as I started actively engaging business-wise between Kenya and Germany, Ted and I, when we sat down, we started with an hospital project. So I remember that time it was just 3 of us, Ted, Jasmine, and I. And we had this huge dream, creating a German-Kenyan hospital. When we say German-Kenya, we say we want to take the best of German services in terms of medical equipment, diagnostics. When we say Kenyan, we want to take the best of hospitality, the best of services. In Germany, service is awful. We can agree on this. In Kenya, we are amazing at it. The moment you land in Kenya, the people, how you interact with them, it's the energy, you feel it. And we need to showcase this in an economical way, in a valuable way. So we said, okay, we have to merge these two. The strengths, what works in Germany, why does it work? Can it work in Kenya? What is not good about it? We take that out, we say, okay, what works in Kenya best? How can we interject and create our own global solution? Meaning local expertise, global thinking. This is the pathway we want to create. This is the kind of thinking and perspective we want to give it to our students. The reason why Nova is because Nova is ready to embrace innovation. Nova students, Nova curriculum, for those who don't know, I've been coming to Kenya since January. I've been here 6 times. And all those times I've made an effort to meet at least each and every Nova schools and interact with parents and students and teachers. And every time I did it, I was positively blown away. And everyone I brought with me, it was the same. So for me, that was an important foundation because I said, okay, if you have to put Kenya up there with Germany and the likes of all these big countries, we have to do it correctly and we have to start at the right point. So, but we have to be willing to learn. We have to be willing to learn. I was actually really depressed my first 6 years in Germany because the culture shock was huge and also because our culture in Kenya unfortunately does not prepare a teenage 19-year-old to run his own life. And I wished I had a mentor. I wished I had someone to hold my hand. And I didn't, but somehow on my way, I got to meet amazing people. And I'm glad that those amazing people I met, some of them are here, Mr. JP and Marcelo's boss. And eventually, when I met these amazing people, I realized to be able to change the world, well, you're never gonna know if you're gonna change the world, but to be able to have that impact, you need to connect, you need to integrate. But integration, it means you are willing to learn what your partner is bringing to the table, and your partner also is willing to do the same. This made a huge difference. This changed my perspectives. And today I'm thankful because if I didn't go through what I went through, I would have never realized how difficult it is to navigate a different system. And it is, to be able to create a relationship between 2 countries or companies or individuals from different regions. So, as Okki Solutions, how do we want to do that? One of these ways to do that is through exchange programs. Exchange programs have been done, but we felt exchange programs, they need to be done also in a modern way. And also exchange programs need to fit the countries. It's not a one-way thing. So we need to make them fun. We need to ensure that people everyone, from the teachers, the students, they're getting the exposure. So one of it, we said, okay, we'll do the classical one. We find a school in Germany, we find schools in Germany, we find schools in Kenya, which is Nova at this point. Then they get to interact. But how do we enrich that? We have to create, to make it more close. So we have to ensure that they're solving problems, future problems, even if it does not look like it right now. So one way to do that, we said we needed a platform, a common platform, where it goes beyond just, students or teachers. So we said we needed a common platform where we have retired students, we have directors, we have parents who we mirror from both sides, and they have an area where they can interact. So it does not have to be just about physics or to be about, how is it in Kenya? I want to come and see animals, or I want to go to Germany to see Mercedes. It has to be, hey, let's go deeper. What is it that the Mercedes engineer do that makes Mercedes be the brand it is? What is it that the Lufthansa pilots, managers do to make it a global champion? So, and for them, they have to come here and say, hey, why is Kenya beautiful? Why are the people of Kenya known, for their drive, ambitions, for their entrepreneurial mindset? But they have to experience that, they have to see that. We cannot showcase all this just to 15 people. It has to be a whole school. So it has to be also a whole education system. And to do this, we have to interact. So we need the interactive platforms to be able to do that, to be able to showcase the technology. We have virtual glasses now. We have AI. And all this, you don't have to have the money to fly to Germany to be able to see that. But if you're in Kenya, you won't have access to these companies if you don't have the privilege of having a German or a German company to hold your hand. So that's the barrier we are breaking. We are giving the students, the teachers, the parents, and all our friends direct access to Germany. Secondly, we want also to do this through excursions. Excursions means now we have the MD of Lufthansa here. After he talks about how he can fly us to Germany and everything, we want to go to Lufthansa. We want to go see their planes, right? We don't just want to be the product, but we want to be part of, okay, maybe in future, I can create my own global, either get bought out by Lufthansa, or maybe buy them out. Right? That's the idea. I want you to understand that's what we want to showcase. So through these excursions, we'll be exposing different kids and matching them to their dreams. I hated when I was a kid whenever I got asked what I wanted to be. Because, to be honest, I never knew. I just knew one thing. In whatever I did, I just wanted to be good at it. For me, that always was my drive. So, and I realized a lot of kids, even university students, when they are asked that, they say the most common ideologies which they have. They say doctor, pilot. Then I said, do you know what a doctor actually does? Do you know what a pilot actually does? Do you know what an engineer, or are you just saying the title? So do you have exposure to these people? When you say what's the biggest company and you say Siemens, what's known about Germany's economy, and people mention engineering, then I say, do you know why Germans have the best engineers? Most surprising thing, whenever I tell people, German engineers don't go to university, they go to technical schools, everyone is like, what? So, for example, that's the education system. We need to understand what makes them be where they are, and they need to understand what makes us who we are. So, to keep it short, in the for education side, for example, in Germany, not everyone has to go to university. the cultural way. They have vocational education. That's why I'm happy. Yeah. Okay. So they have apprenticeship. They have what's called dual studium, dual study. So basically, you get employed by a company, let's say by Lufthansa. You go work there, let's say 2-3 months. Then you go a semester in university. And you are getting paid when you're doing this as a student. And also, did you know that education is free in Germany? So these are the kind of things and exposures we need to bring into the limelight from both ways. So I'm great as Okki Solution that we are the ones willing to go that deep. You know, everyone tries to build a bridge, but no one knows what's supporting that bridge. We are that support, and we are the cement between the bricks between German businesses and Kenyan businesses. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Could you please appreciate Dr. Masinde one more time? Now I believe you have a really clear understanding of what this partnership is all about. Don't we? Yes. All right. Now I would like to welcome our principal to welcome one of our guests. Welcome.
Protocol.
Yes.
Protocol.
Yes.
I was telling a friend of mine, protocol is very important. I love protocol, but I'm a bit more casual than that. However, it's a delight introducing my brother, Principal Andrew, who heads our Tattoo Boys School. He's going to lead us into the intermission, refreshments, food, and a very important activity I think we need to have. After hearing all the voices, I think it's very important for us to do the next portion. So, Principal Andrew, I'll give you both these items.
Thank you so much, Principal.
Let me do this way.
Thank you so much, Principal Christine. Okay. All protocol observed. Allow that I also greet you in Chamani language, because our friends from Germany have done a good job of speaking Kiswahili. So if I say Guten Morgen, what do you say in return? Guten Morgen. So let's go. Guten Morgen. That's the greetings for the morning. That's me saying good morning. If you want to take more, let's say Guten Nacht. Are we there? If it's in the evening, because I know some of you are leaving, later in the day, and you'll go home and you want to shine, say Guten Nacht. I think connections are very important if we have to achieve the world being a global village. And so this opportunity is cherished because of that. Allow me to go straight to the point and say, I know after these awesome presentations, you could be having this question that you wanted to ask. So this is that time for you to do so. And so there are cards around. You already have the cards. Kindly write that question down. I have checked in the room, and I note that there are a few doctors in the room. And we appreciate you, doctors. We really appreciate you. We know we appreciate you for the work that you do to humanity. We struggle a bit to read your handwriting. And so we beseech you to try a little bit for this time. So, yeah, so that's this time. I will allow, as we do that, we'll also get to catch up on the Nova Pioneer story, Who Are We? And so that'll be a video that's, that we'll be watching as we write our questions. Then we'll collect the cards. And then as we continue to do that, kindly refreshments are served at the back. So if I've picked your card, if you had this question, you can grab your refreshments at the back and then come back and remain seated. I hope we are well guided. Thank you. Let's do this. Just feel free to move around to the back where we have refreshments and back.
Good job.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I mean,
Did you give the time when you were coming?
public address system, it shall be well. And being a teacher, I am able to project my voice, so I'm not worried about that. And so I wanted to say, having gone through your notes, first and foremost, I must appreciate those of you who have written your questions. I also want to acknowledge that even the doctors did a good job. They tried their best, so I was able to read every writing, so thank you so much. We'll have an opportunity for a number of the questions to be responded to, but a few that we may not be able to respond to because of time, I will request that nevertheless we'll be able to share a response later with this team. So that's me giving you an apology for that part. And so, Mr. Dr. Masinde, be on the lookout. I just wanted to put you on a high alert because I now want to begin by reading the questions, and we'll be requesting that you respond to some of these. Now, the first question is, what does it take to get a scholarship from the Germany exchange program? That's the first question. So I hope you're noting that. Okay, I give you that. Then the second question could be, what could be the cost implication on the student side? How many students will be involved at launch? And what could be the criteria on selection? This feels like a question that can be responded by both parties, the Kenyan side of leadership and the German side. So let's see how this pans out. Maybe when they start, you give them the lapel mic so they are on YouTube. Yes, I'll do it. The third question is, you said that education is free in Germany. That's does it apply to foreigners as well? I love that. How can a Kenyan who is very good in drawing and design apply for a scholarship in Germany to study in Germany and maybe work there? Kindly respond. I think you're best placed to respond to that. Where do you see this partnership in 10 years? Where do you see this partnership of today in 10 years? How many other German companies based in Kenya now also support this initiative and work together in promoting integration, innovation, and capacity building? Maybe you even respond to that. Okay. I now want to hand over the mic to you, sir. Here you are.
Still digesting the questions.
Do you need more time? I can be entertaining a little bit.
I think you can be entertaining a bit.
Okay. I think it's given me like 2 minutes to entertain us a little bit. Because I'm hearing, or you're going to go?
Yeah, where I need support, I'm going to. We have enough Germans here. So. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. Where do you see this partnership 10 years from now? 10 years from now, I see Germans taking Kenyan students directly from high school. Yeah, this is the impact which I want this partnership to have. And less paperwork for Kenyans and easier visa entries to Germany. I think also AHK can answer that, how you see the interaction.
Let me read it. Let me see now. I mean, you mean to add on your answer? I see it, I think it will grow very fast because of the development we have currently in Germany and here. We need a lot. It sounds a bit strange when I say we need a lot of experts or skilled workers from Kenya. We need a lot of young people coming to Germany to learn. And I think the opposite will be good as well. So I see it prospering. I think in 10 years we will be much
better. So second one, what does it take to get a scholarship from the German exchange program? So is this for the program specifically we have or any German exchange program? Who wrote the questions?
I will say this exchange program.
Okay, good. That's then as a good question. So this exchange program, a small part of it, due to restrictions, is actually we are partnering with Global Engage. It's the German Ministry of Education side for exchanges. Yeah, and that one though is limited to I think 2 students. So I don't have the exact numbers, but we do have a small openings for 2, I think to 4, and it's limited period of 3 years. Yeah. How to apply for it? Unfortunately, you can't apply for it from Kenya. We have to apply for it as a German entity from the German side or the partnership school from the German side. As of now, that's what we have. But of course, as we grow, the goal is to give access to every student. So, how can other German companies based in Kenya now also support this initiative and work together in promoting integration, innovation, and capacity? So first, I'm going to give this to a German company we brought.
I mean, I think it's a great question, right? And it's a sort of a great initiative. How can other countries
I didn't get one.
I think firstly, it's about communication. It's about knowing that this even exists. For the stream colleagues, yeah. So it's really about being aware that a product or an exchange like this exists. I'm speaking as a German company. I'm quite certain other companies would support initiatives like this, because not only do we need highly skilled, qualified employees in Kenya in our organizations, we need them also in Germany, and we need them all over the world. You know, we use a good example. It might not relate directly to this exchange program, but one of our colleagues in our team in Kenya, he's Kenyan, is moving to New York City to work for Lufthansa. That's an exchange. And I think other companies would definitely be quite eager and quite open to benefit from and benefit to an initiative like this. We just need to engage them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So to add on that,
your stream.
Thank you. To add on that, I don't know how many know, like through AHK, we have a German Business Association, which 154 German companies in Kenya, they get to engage each other. So that means, of course, if you engage with one, you have exposure to almost all these companies and beyond. Okay. So you say that education is free in Germany. Does it apply to foreigners as well? First part, yes. So it applies to foreigners, but also it's some states. Yeah, it depends on some states. You might be required to pay a little fee. So every semester, a student pays between 600 to 800 euros, but this is to cover your ticket costs. Yeah. Because you'll use the train and every this, yeah? And so some states, instead of the 800 bracket, maybe they extend it to 1,200. But this is a semester, so it's not tuition or anything. Okay, so the question continues. How can a Kenyan who is very good in drawing and design apply for scholarship in Germany? So just to stop there, I think this part, I'm going to extend it to a German teacher.
Yes. It's a good question. So it has to do with the German system of education. Normally, in most of the cases, students with a GSE exam can attend the university. And when you are an artist or when you want to, let's say, improve your musical talents as a musician, then you go to an academy. And in an academy, you have to apply it in a different way. You, for example, as an artist, you prepare a folder of your works, and they are examined by the academy, and the academy says, well, this boy has talent, we take him up in our academy.
Okay, I think it had another part. Okay, just ask and maybe work there too. So in Germany, well, once you're done with school, you can easily find a job. Like they mentioned, we don't have a lot of young people.
Maybe I can add on this a bit.
Yeah.
So study is free in Germany. You have to pay the semester fees, as we call it.
Yeah.
They are not so high. But another thing is, if you have a degree already in Kenya and you go to do a master's degree or whatever, then it's not free anymore. Then you have to check the universities and the fees and so on and so on.
Yeah. So it depends also on which level you want to do. Okay. Mr. Harun, I'm at the question where you said maybe both sides. This one? Should I answer it, or Mr. Mareba? Let me answer the second part.
And then you
I think this is yours. Mr. Mareba, I think.
Thank you. Let's appreciate him for that. Allow me to also respond to two foundational questions and offer an apology for those questions that we will not be able to respond to, but we will be able to share a response later. How does the journey begin? What are the steps for the engagement? The journey begins in our schools, our Nova Pioneer schools, and it begins with the students signing up with the chairman clubs that we have in our schools. And from there now, we begin to talk about the exploration, the opportunities to travel, the opportunities to partner with schools in Germany. What could be the cost implication on the student side? How many students will be involved and launch, and what could be the criteria on selection? Right now, as it is, it's domiciled in our schools as clubs, so the opportunity is open for students who are willing to engage. So it's an open opportunity. Students who are interested, keen to learn the German culture, to learn the German language, we are ready to sign them into those clubs so that they can begin the engagement. The costs at the preliminary level right now in our clubs, different schools have different offerings, but we do not have like a huge cost implication for the clubs. We don't levy fee, for instance. So that's how it is right now. But when it comes to actual traveling, then we'll talk about the cost of traveling, the cost of the exchange stay in the German school for X period of time. I believe I've responded to those two questions. I want to appreciate your listening here so much.
I have one more.
Oh, you have one? Okay,
Yeah,
kindly go for it. Kindly go for it.
I tried to make it short. I could talk about this. No, there's a mic. I could talk about this for hours. The question is, are the opportunities open for parents? Doesn't matter if you are a parent or if you are 40 years old and don't have a child. Yes, they are open. The German market is open for everyone who got the skills or the wish to study. Let me focus on the skills a bit. So if you let's say you have a degree, a bachelor degree, a master's degree, that is the most easiest way. You can get a so-called blue card, you can apply for it, and you can go to work there. This is very short now. The German government just passed a law to make it easier for, we call it third country, people to come to Germany for work. Third country because one country is Germany, the other countries are Europe, and then come the countries all over the world. So it will be much easier. I think the law has just been gazetted a few weeks ago. It comes in 3 steps. The first step is blue card, that's in October. Then the second step is if you have a diploma or something and you can work there. And the third step is so-called opportunity card. It's a big thing, but it will make it easier for everyone to go to Germany and to work there, depending on your job, on your education. And I would suggest it is sometimes not even necessary to know German, for instance, in the IT sector. But if you live in a different country,
your colleagues talk English with you, then you go and want to buy some bread or butter or what.
The IT department, German, and even himself, he said, you don't need to program, but how are you going to coordinate your teams and talk to everyone else? So thank you.
Thank you, that's well responded. I acknowledge that this part is the one that you could have wanted to listen to the responses most, but because of time, allow that we proceed. So I want to hand over back the program to you, Principal. Oh, okay, to Deputy Principal Haroun.
Thank you so much.
I think the mic is somewhere there. I see it. Okay. I thought it was.
Could you please put our hands together and appreciate Principal Andrew for leading us so well through that interactive question and answer session. Now, on such an occasion, it's important to celebrate in a way that we also get to test something to mark the occasion. So I'm going to welcome our principal from Athi River Primary School, Nova Pioneer Athi River, Principal Edna, to lead us through this ceremony of cutting the cake and celebrating it together. Can you please welcome Principal Edna? Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Hi. Asante. Allow me to cage myself here and then later on. All right? So we're here to eat cake. All right? That's the fun part. I'm a playful person. So when I saw my name next to the cake roll, I'm like, yay! I'm going to eat cake. My name is Edna Ayalo. I am the school leader at the River Campus. Christine here is my sister. She has held my hand since we started 1 year after Tatu Primary. And we have since grown to junior secondary, now at grade 7. And we are so happy. I have come with my family of my student council president, Siham, Vice President Ethan, as well as our administrator, Maggie. All right? We also have one of our parents, Judy, Mama Craig, who is super passionate about this connection. I have heard so many buzzwords and I kept nodding. If my head could flip, you'd think I'm Frankenstein. Anyway, so I've heard things that resonate with the 3 C's we believe in: culture, the 3 C's we believe in, the connection, the capabilities. I think it was said differently, like competencies, all right? And character, to be precise. I am so eager to connect. I have this joy in learning new things, going new places, and the gift of service. What do you have to offer? I was so proud of Dr. Winja when she talked about standards, because I'm a stickler for standards, and that really excited me. So here we are. So why cake? This is when I move to the front. The serious bit is gone. Why cake? I just request a few students. I'm a teacher, so I always give tests, all right? Students, just raise your hand and tell me what type of cake you love. What flavor? Yes.
My name is Audrey, and the type of cake I love is chocolate.
Audrey loves chocolate cake. One more or 2 more? Thank you, Audrey. Anyone who loves a different flavor of cake? Yes. What's your name, sir?
My name is Israel.
Israel.
Yeah. And the type of cake I like is vanilla.
Israel loves vanilla cake. I love vanilla too. One more? Just one more. Or you love all types of cake? Someone's nodding really hard. Okay, there's the all flavor cake. All right? Snaps to everyone for laughing. Okay? Why that excites me is there's such a big variety of cake flavors and cake aromas and cake icing we can think about. We can transform a cake into almost about anything. When I'm an insomniac and I can't sleep and I click through social media, there are these pages that come to your reel and they really tempt you at night to just get up and grab something. Like, no. And you see cakes that have been decorated that even look like a handbag. And you're like, someone's cutting that? Others, like baby shower ones, are really creepy. Looks like you're cutting a baby. You know, it's all you can transform a cake into anything. What that calls for is, what's in the cake? Flour, sugar, Some have fruit, some have raising agents, some have eggs, some don't. And it's all an amalgamation of different ingredients that have different roles and different uses in that cake. Now that's what diversity brings us to. We are all different, putting all those ingredients together that are totally unrelated, adding flavors that are unique in themselves, color, fashion, design, and so forth, putting them together, putting them under some fire to bake it up under some kind of pressure and pain, bringing it into one thing. The aroma begins, you look forward to it, you serve it, let it cool, decorate it, ice it, cut it, and begin to eat it. More often than not, cake is shared. So it's seldom something that you eat alone, but you usually cut a piece and share with somebody else. Now that is partaking. Our CEO, Chinezi Chijoke, calls it breaking bread, and it's really, really powerful. So that uniqueness that we have, bring it together, put it under some fire, get it to really cake up, serve it, cut it first, sorry, because we are many. Cut it, serve it, enjoy it, share it, and do it again. So that for me is the biggest lesson that I've come out with here. Bring it together, share it. Bring good stuff together, share it. If you remove one ingredient, that cake will turn into something different, all right? That means everyone's unique capability, unique talent, unique passion is needed. I'm so proud to learn that we have the best nurses. And I'm so proud of Germans to have very high level of technology. So can you imagine that together, man and machine, the amount of power that comes from that? So we are going to symbolically do that, okay? We're going to share cake to believe together, to come into an agreement that we are doing this together for a good purpose. Now, students, this is about you. Adults have spoken. Do you know our role here? We are merely enablers. Because we are facilitating, you just can't even go to Germany tomorrow, see him, right? You need your parent to say yes, someone to pay the ticket, and so forth. So that is our role here. So you may sound like you're not hearing your voices today, but we are here because of you. We'd like to open up these paths for you so that you have the opportunities you deserve to make that difference and to gain what is different. So I really hope you're looking forward to it. You are representing campuses that have children 600 and above, 1,000 and above. Please, when you go out, when you go back to our respective campuses, let's talk to the rest of the students and let them know why this is important and what's going on. And let's just keep the excitement about it. So can we now eat? Yes. Thank you. So I'll call symbolically Dr. Masinde. Has he stepped out? Thank you. Yes, yes. If he could come and someone's doing this and it's him I want to call. I'll call him and Mr. Chris Kaemba, just representing the two families. I'll call us families, right? Yes. To help me cut the cake. And then I'll also call our parents to come forward because you're going to flank us and you'll help us serve the cake with the help of the students so that everyone can partake of this very important symbol. Is that okay? So parents in the room, please come forward as we go around. So let's come. The only cake cutting song I know is Happy Birthday, but I don't know what to call this. Yeah, this side. Principal Christine as well, please. All right. Okay, all right. So I'll also request Mr. Bruno and Mr. Kevin to come. Yeah. Sorry. Either side is okay. And then we try and balance so that we don't tip over. Yeah, okay. Thank you. This is awesome. All right. So it's the other way around, all right? I think I need a picture of this cake before we destroy it, all right? So we're gonna hold hands and we'll do it together.
Do it together?
Like we have to like cut it together.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is symbolic, then I let you continue. Yes. Need a stronger knife, hope we don't break the sword. All right. So I'll help with the rest. That was symbolic. Yes, that was symbolic. And then I'll have the parents assist too. I need a song, guys.
You're doing very well.
I love fun. Kata. 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 Yes, yes.
Oh, the flex out there.
Yes, yes. I'm doing my best. See, the song did it. Yes, please. Kata. 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 So just take it fast. Oh, this was interesting.
I think that's it.
Yes, please. I need a conveyor belt.
Yeah, that's the way.
Let me also do both sides. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. You saw the struggle, yes? Mm-hmm. What did you
We can get the catering team to come and help.
Okay. After this team, then there is something. All right.
Oh, yours.
After the.
This was for you.
It was for you, yes.
The catering team is coming to look for everybody. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, you have it first. Sorry, my instructions were not clear. Yes, it's fine. Then I think yes. All right, Mr. Kaimba. And we can call the.
Let me get them.
I'll get them. I want you to have this, and Mark and Kevin as well. Yeah.
You have this one.
Yes.
That's yours. All right. You might not get one again.
Thank you. Okay.
What's the
So,
yeah,
I wanted. Yes, with the help of the students. But you're supposed to taste it first.
The catering team.
Yeah. I don't know if they're here.
Hoja, have you seen the deputy principal, the master of ceremony?
He's behind the ladies here. He's with Principal Christine. Yeah.
That's the cake.
All right.
I haven't tasted that.
So we've symbolically tasted the cake. So we are going to serve you to also enjoy. All right. Should I cut them smaller? Will they be enough? Okay. Okay, you can help me now, sir. Yeah. This cake thing is not my forte. That was a lie. That was a lie. But you love eating it.
Please allow us and let's come back together. Let's come back together, ladies and gentlemen, dear students. Let's come back together to conclude the event because we realize some of our distinguished guests need to take their leave in a moment. Thank you. All right. So I now would like to just request our principal to lead us in acknowledging some of our guests, especially those who need to take their leave immediately, and then to lead us in presenting them their gifts.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, friends. I hope you've enjoyed a bite. As we do this portion, I would like to recognize some of our friends of Nova Pioneer who arrived during the event. Our parents, we have Honorable Sylvanus Osoro, who is in charge of all MPs in Kenya. And he's Baba Prince and Junior to me, right? So thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you stopping by. We also have Baba Angela and Joshua, who is our founding principal of our first Nova Pioneer School. Our Nova Pioneer Boys School founding principal, Mr. Charles Suma, who's here with us, and a very good friend. Thank you, Baba Angela and Joshua, for being here. Yeah. We also have one of our parents who's in charge of our entire talent team here with us. She has 2 daughters here in our school whom we love so, so much. And she does all our global talent for Nova Pioneer. So the reason why we're here is because of the talent department, right? In part. And they're wooing, they woo us into this great vision. So I'd like to recognize Miss Waturi Wemboe, who's here with us as well. Thank you, thank you. I also saw Madame Jaya Lomondi here, one of our parents. You're here, thank you. And I believe she's a cousin of Kiko. Yes, our family friend. With that stated now,
Marion from Eldoret.
Marion from Eldoret is here.
Boys.
All right, and Marion from Eldoret Boys. There you are. Thank you very much. Thank you. And without further ado, we have some tokens, some gifts to say thank you to our friends, to allow them their leave at this time. There's some just appreciation. Our PTA chair, Madame Viola Karuri, will be doing that so that we can then excuse them. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. You've all sat through a wonderful presentation. And in African tradition, you can't have a visitor and let them leave empty-handed, right? So we have to. Thank you. So we have to acknowledge their presence and appreciate their the time that they've spent with us to launch this wonderful program. So without much ado, without much conversation, which has already been had, I would like to bring forth those who've traveled from far and wide, Eldoret girls, if you could come forth. And our first gift will be to Mr. Masinde, who has spearheaded this wonderful program that our children will be beneficiaries of. With snaps, the students from Eldoret girls. Mr. Masinde, kindly come forward. It's an overnight trip. Oh, yes, okay. Yes, at 9 p.m. Oh, that's wonderful. So kindly present. Here you go. Yes. So kindly present Mr. Masinde. Yes. Thank you. And you can pause for a very quick picture. You can pause for a very quick picture. Thank you. And while you're still here, girls, Mr. Bruno Bacchus, Head of Education, AHK. Kindly present that to him. This as well. Yes, that's fine. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Snaps. And as they are taking the photo, Eldoret boys, kindly come forward. Eldoret boys, and we'll have you present the gift to Mr. Kevin Marquette, the CEO of Lufthansa. And this is for him as well. I think we do the flunking. If you want to, then go to the other side. Yes, go to the other side. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, boys. Before you go, boys, please come back. Please come back. Jans Peter, JP, kindly come forward. We met Jans. Jans came for our cultural day, Heritage Day, and he's such a joyful spirit. He sat through it looking unbored, and he had a good time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Mm-hmm. Kindly give him the gift and shake a good handshake. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jans. All right, kindly come forward, the representatives from Athi River students. Athi River students. Thank you. And they will be presenting an appreciation to our director and founder, Mr. Christopher Kaemba. And you. There you go. And if you could please stand on both sides of him.
Well, I'm being gifted.
You're being gifted. Yes, Mr. Kaemba with his students. Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. New students and older students. All right. Yeah? Yes, they can wait, please. And in the same vein, would like to appreciate also Honorable Silvana Sosoro for coming to this event, a parent here at Nova. And he served in my PTA, Baba Prince. We had lots of conversations back and forth. Taxes today, we bombard him with all your tax issues today. Thank you very much, Baba Prince. Yes.
We are advised that the Lufthansa team is leaving. Can we take one photo with them?
That's fine. Okay. We'll take a quick commercial break. Lufthansa team is leaving.
We have to get those ads in.
I know. We have to pay. We have to pay for the airtime. Go on. Yes, please.
Sure.
Please. Okay.
You're next to the principal.
Yes. It'll take a few minutes to get them arranged. Protocol. The students from Tattoo Boys. Is Linda Lagat here? She left already, and Lois Sang left already. Oh, Lois is here. Oh, she'll take it. Becky will take it. Okay. Thank you. So this is for Lois, not to. All right. Ms. Langat, on behalf of. Thank you very much, Snaps.
Thank you. I work at the office of.
All right, thank you, boys. No, I think they can leave now. Thank you. Yes, they can leave. Tattoo girls, girls. Kindly come forward. And as they come forward, I'd like to invite Matthew. Is Matthew still here? Oh, Matthew left. All right, thank you. So Marcella's Booth. Last but definitely not least. Thank you. So the girls, if you could. Oh, and here's. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you, Marcellas. Is Phyllis Gedua here? You'll take it for her. So the host, clearly. All right, the host school, Nova Pioneer, Tattoo Primary. Oh yeah, when I say Nova, everybody says yes. Here you go. And this is for Phyllis Gedua.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And that concludes our gift session. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Let's please appreciate Madam Viola. May I now invite Miss Pauline from Okki Solutions, if she is here, to move a vote of thanks. All right, Dacha will represent her. All right, let's please appreciate Dacha.
Hi everyone. I hope I'm loud enough. Okay, I'm representing Miss Pauline. She was to give the vote of thanks. Just allow me to read because you understand. Okay. We would like to thank each and every one of you for honoring our invitation. Your presence here today is impactful in itself. And we really, really do appreciate your support as Okki Solutions. And we would also like to thank the Nova Pioneer Primary School for being our host. Honestly, you guys are very organized and very, like we feel like we've been hosted, don't you think? Yes. Yes, so thank you very much to the Nova Pioneer Primary School and also all the other Novas. Thank you for gracing our invite. And everything you've done for us has honestly been overwhelming. Thank you for your contribution to the success of this launch. And for the students, this program is yours. It's all about you. We appreciate your presence and your support in the success of this launch. Lastly, we would like to appreciate the GBA partners for gracing our event and also the government officials who have left in their absence. We would like to thank them. And lastly, we look forward to the great partnership between Germany and Kenya, between Okki and Nova, as we prepare them to become great leaders. We really anticipate the cross-cultural exchange as they interact and learn from each other. Thank you very much. And I think, honestly, it's been a success.
Yes.
Right? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, it's here. This one.
Yeah, let me use this one.
Okay.
Thank you so much. May we please appreciate Dacha? Now, we do not want to close this launch without doing two really important things. First, a closing prayer that's going to be led by one of our students from Athi River, Nova Pioneer Athi River. She is the president. Honorable Soro, take note. She is the president of the student council. Yes.
High Excellency.
High Excellency. Siham Ahmed, who is going to lead us in the school prayer that's going to be projected on the slide. Let's please encourage Siham as she gets ready.
So Siham is conducted here. So you're ready? All right.
All right, let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Thank you, God, for our school. Thank you for the teachers that help us learn. May you keep our school safe, protect all new learners and visitors to our school. Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Your Excellency. All right. Now we need to go to the bust. So in Nova Pioneer, we end all meetings with a bust. And we are going to bust to Greater Together. Greater Together because we are greater together. Germany, Kenya, Okki Solutions, Lufthansa, AHK, Nova Pioneer, all of us, individuals, nations, we are greater together. So may I ask that we get ready for that bust, after which, so we are going to demonstrate first, Nova Pioneer teammates and students are going to demonstrate to our guests how we bust. Then we shall all do it together. After that, I'll ask that you please take our seats, and then I'll guide us through the photo session, which will be the last activity. So all the Nova Pioneer teammates, our students, may we please rise, and demonstrate to our guests how we bust to Greater Together. Now we shall need to face this way, forward. All right. So our guests just give us a moment to show you. So we are facing the front, and then we will do Greater Together. Wow. Now, may we please all arise and do it together. All right. Greater Together. Thank you. Let's be seated. So the very last activity we have is a photo session, and I'll guide us through. May I request Dean Cyrus and team to please organize and have 6 seats here. So we are going to do the photo session in groups. I will guide us. Thank you so much. The first photo will feature the following, ladies and gentlemen. Director, Mr. Haemba. So I think I'd rather stand here. Our director, Mr. Haemba. Then Dr. Masinde. Mr. Bruno Bakes. Thank you. Thank you. So we will sit starting from the center. Yes. All right, and they will, Mr. Bruno and Marcelos. Mr. Bruno is here. Marcelos and JP. All right, thank you. Marcelos and JP. Along with Principal Christine.
Could you move this to the back? Thank you. So our photographers will guide us. Every one of us will get a chance to come for their photo session. Right. The camera, the photographer is here. Miss Faith?
Is where I can impact other people and create a better society.
Different groups, as I'll be calling us. Let's start with Nova Pioneer Tattoo Primary Team. Nova Pioneer Tattoo Primary Team, the deans.
Yes.
And the parents, Nova Pioneer Tattoo Primary parents as well. So when a school is called, everyone from that campus comes, including parents. Thank you. Okay, okay. All right, all right. So, yes. Yeah. It's because we have it's class. Yes, yeah. All right. So our first school here taking the photo with our guests, it's Nova Pioneer Tattoo Primary School.
How about you join us? Yeah. Thank
You can distract us.
The other side. Okay. Thank you. Chapati. Chapati. Thank you. Let's snap for them, please. The next group is Nova Pioneer at River Primary team joining. Yes. Nova Pioneer at River Primary and JSS. Junior Secondary School. So parents from Nova Pioneer at River, you are welcome to join. Oh yes.
Thank you, Principal Edna. What do they say? Let's appreciate our Three River campus. Thank you. Then we now have Nova Pioneer Tattoo Boys School, led by their principal, Principal Andrew, taking the seat, and the rest of the team are lining up behind our guests. We say chapati. Thank you so much. We are proud of you, Tattoo Boys. Now we welcome Nova Pioneer Tattoo Girls School, led by their school leader, Dr. Nyaboke. Let's appreciate them, please.
No, this is. You managed. She was at work. You know much.
Thank you very much, Tattoo Girls. Let's now welcome Nova Pioneer Eldoret Boys. Nova Pioneer Eldoret Boys. They left Eldoret, the city of champions, yesterday at 9 p.m. They traveled overnight to be here. Can you please give them a clap for that? Thank you.
It's up to go to Germany for sure.
Yes.
Right? Welcome.
For them, for the picture. So right now we'll all say Okki Solutions. Okki. Thank you so much. Let's welcome Nova Pioneer Eldoret Girls. Nova Pioneer Eldoret Girls.
Yes.
Nova Pioneer Eldoret Girls. A round of applause for them, for their dedication to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. So we shall all say Eldoret. Yes. Thank you so much. Our guests, please remain seated for a moment. Now we need to recognize our partners from Okki Solutions. Okki team, please join our guests, the entire Okki team. Sorry. All right. Now we can say, because this is the Okki team, we can say Nova Pioneer. Right. Or we'll repeat, Nova Pioneer. Let's do it.
Nova Pioneer.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's please appreciate them one more time. We have our guests from other partner institutions that we are working with in this program. Moi University, Kenya Commercial Bank, Atatu City. May we please join? Yes. Yes, yes. So, Moi University, Tatu City, Kenya Commercial Bank, we appreciate your partnership. Let's please.
One person is missing.
Sorry?
INBM Bank.
Ah, yes. I&M Bank, welcome. Yes. Just in case I've not mentioned your organization and you're here representing it, please let me know and join the group. All right. How about now we just say partnership? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Please, just a moment. Don't leave fast. All right. Yes. Now, allow me to welcome all the Nova Pioneer School leaders. The Nova Pioneer School leaders, Principal Edna, Principal Andrew, Dr. Nyaboke, and of course, Ms. Waturi, to please join.
Yeah, and the ladies this time.
All right. All right. Let's appreciate them with one snap or two snaps. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, our leaders. Second last group are the friends of Nova Pioneer. All the friends of Nova Pioneer attending this event. If we haven't yet had your group, please join. Please join in case I'm leaving out. Yes, yes, please. Yes.
Yes, but not with the other
Yes. Now let's welcome members of the Parents Association, PTA leaders. Please join. The PTA's executive teams from different campuses. Please join. Thank you for your partnership in Nova Pioneer and in this exchange program. So we shall say parents, just simple parents. Thank you. All right, so this then marks the end of our program.
Oh, these are covered. Yes. All right.
Doing the group students only.
Yes. Now, due to popular and powerful demand, now we need to have our students, special students, all the students. This program is for you. Please join our guests. Let's appreciate our students. They are the future of Africa, the future of the world.
To blend, yeah, I get it. My sister is not
All right, can you just take a step to the right? Yes. So we'll try to balance according to height. Let the tallest be at the center. The tallest side. All right. Please, you can come to this side. Height advantage. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Students, what do you want to say? Connections. Connections. So 1, 2, 3. Connections. All right. So this brings us to the end of our program. We may interact and leave at our pleasure.